What is up guys, Alex here and welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at the Nintendo Switch. This guy's been out for a couple months and it's still really hard to find. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on it so far and answering the question, should you get it? Let's get right into it. Welcome back guys. So today we are looking at the Nintendo Switch. Now this guy's been out for a couple of months and I've had mine for roughly a month or so now. So I want to give you guys my review so far and help answer the question, should you get it? So like I said, I've had this guy for roughly a month and in that time I've used it both handheld and in the docked mode, as you can see here, up on my TV. Most of the time I found myself playing handheld as it is just gorgeous even on that 720p screen. But this guy has got a beautiful display. I don't have any dead pixels. I haven't had any issues with that. There are people who at the beginning when it first came out, I know they were dealing with something with some connectivity issues with one of the Joy-Cons. I believe it was the right or left, I can't honestly remember. But I've only had connectivity issues happen one time when I was sitting down on my couch and I just Link in the middle of Breath of the Wild just straight up ran off a cliff and died because it wasn't connecting and that stunk. But other than that, I really haven't had that happen since then. I haven't had any issues with bending. There was a problem for a period of time where people found that their switches were bent. Mostly people who had left theirs in the dock, and I haven't had any issues with that. Scratching, all that stuff, haven't had problems with it. I put a screen protector the moment I got this guy. So many of those major concerns and issues that first came out aren't things I've experienced or had issues with my unit particularly, and so far it has been an absolute joy to use. Now, talking about hardware, this thing feels super good in the hands. It's got a great weight to it and it is basically a fully plastic build, but it feels miles better than something like the Nintendo Wii U, which felt like something like a toy from Toys R Us or something. It felt plasticky and cheap. This has some good weight to it, some good heft to it, and the Joy-Cons on the side just make it feel really great. I love the clickiness, I'm gonna let you listen, of just taking on and off the Joy-Cons. So here, just let you listen. I know it's simple, but there's something just magical about clicking it in, and it actually makes the snappy noise in the user interface when you attach the Joy-Cons. Yeah, so overall the hardware has been really nice, great to use. I love the fact that it has a headphone jack. I am super bummed that Bluetooth headphones don't tend to work with it, at least not yet. Maybe they'll patch that in later. I like the speakers, they sound really good. Honestly, they don't get as loud as I'd like them to. I like the volume rockers. I do kind of wish that the power button wasn't as indented, that it was maybe a little easier to see, but I like that it's a different height than the volume so that you know you're pressing the power button versus the volume rockers. There are people who have complained about the fact that the joysticks, both the left and right, are offset and that that's uncomfortable. I've never experienced any issues with that. It doesn't bother me at all using it that way, and considering that most of the time I'm playing this guy portably, I haven't had any issues with the offset joysticks. There are lots of people who swear by the Pro Controller though. I didn't pick one up, they're super expensive, but I did hear that you can find it slightly cheaper on Amazon, so if you're looking for one, maybe go check it out there. I'll leave it a link in the description below, of course. Alright, now switching from the hardware to software, yes, I know it's a terrible pun that's been made a million times. I want to talk quickly about how this thing runs, how it is used, and basically my experience with the software so far. So first things first, this thing is snappy. The user interface is incredibly simple, only has two themes, light and dark, but overall, getting into this guy, picking it up, turning it on, and just jumping into a game really quick takes more than like 2 seconds and I'm right into my Mario Kart game, and then I am on the go again. It's just really fast being able to pick this up from sleep mode, get right back into your game, get into the home menu, all that stuff feels super quick. Now I know one of the biggest concerns that people have with this is the fact that it lacks any kind of streaming services, internet browser, or social media applications, but the fact that this guy is missing those doesn't bother me at all. I bought this thing to be used as a gaming machine, and the fact that it doesn't do any non-gaming things doesn't bother me. It's snappy, it's quick, and I think that's helped to streamline the system and the user interface. I do know that Nintendo has talked about bringing at least the video streaming services in the future, but if I want to watch like Netflix, I'm going to do it on my iPad. If I want to stream the internet or check my Facebook or Instagram, do that on my cell phone. I want this guy to be a gaming machine, and the fact that it's not cluttered by all the notifications for different kinds of things, and it gets to purely and simply be a gaming machine is perfect for me. Now last but not least, we have to talk about games for this guy. When it first came out, there was a huge drought and concern of whether or not this guy was going to get any games. The Virtual Console store wasn't open or available, and to my knowledge, it's still not open and running as of today, May 6th, 2017, but I haven't had an issue with lack for games. I got Zelda Breath of the Wild right out of the get-go, which is the best-selling, Switch game, I believe, out right now. They've sold more Nintendo Switch Zelda games than they have Switches. And that game is literally hundreds of hours of just pure gold. That is an incredible game. If you haven't gotten a Switch and you want to try that game, you don't have a Wii U, it's worth it even for that game, in my opinion. But I've got games like that. I've got Shovel Knight, I've got Snipper Clips, and I have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which just came out, and pretty much all of my gaming needs are met in those 4 games, and there's plenty more. They've added a ton of games recently, and in the future they have games like ARMS, and I know they also have Splatoon 2 coming out in July. They've got a bunch of great indie games and upcoming major Nintendo games that are going to keep your gaming needs fully satisfied for the future, unless you are the hardest of hardcore gamers with plenty of time to spare. But for me and my needs, this guy has met it perfectly. It's the greatest pick up and go, dock at home gaming system that I could have ever imagined. So, in conclusion guys, we have an incredible piece of hardware that answers for me the perfect place of having a portable console with incredible graphics, plenty of battery life, and if I don't, the ability to charge it up with that USB-C charging port, some of the best games out there right now, and just a sleek and wonderful design that is an easy and quick joy to use. But the answer to the question, should you buy it? In my opinion, absolutely. This guy is going to be an incredible machine for many years to come. Pick one up if you can find one. But that just about wraps it up for this video. If you guys liked the video, feel free to like it. If you loved it, feel free to share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content, including an accessory guide for this guy coming out soon. Make sure that you hit that bell so you can stay up to date with notifications on all the videos coming to this channel shortly. Also, feel free to follow me on social media on both Twitter and Instagram at ACDEBACA or ACDebaca, which is my last name and my first initial, in case you guys were wondering how to pronounce my weird last name. And that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!